What's up everyone, Leon here. You're about to watch the first lesson out of 5 total lessons on my course on copywriting that I give out for free in my books. Enjoy. Alright. I am so glad that you are here. Welcome to the copywriting course for online business owners. My name is Leon and I will guide you on your copywriting journey. This course is for online business owners. So if you do most of your sales online, meaning if you sell info products online, if you sell e-commerce, physical products online, Shopify, dropshipping, if you are a coach or consultant that gets most of your customers online, or even if you're just a content creator, this course is for you and it will change your online game. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing that you'll learn in this course is that there are 5 modules that are in this course. I've curated hours of business advice that has to do with copywriting, and there is no way I can fit all of that into one course video. And so there are going to be 5 videos. And here's what we'll learn in each module. In the first module, we're going to go over obvious copywriting mistakes you're making that are costing you a fortune. Copywriting is one of the most important skills in the online business game, and if you don't know how to do it, it's costing you a lot of money. Number 2, we're gonna go over how to acquire buyers that feel understood so they keep coming back. After all, repeat customers are the best customers. Number 3, we're gonna go over why your sales messages aren't high converting. And this doesn't just apply to landing pages. It applies to the way you communicate with your prospects and turn them into customers. It applies to product descriptions, and it just applies in general to even your emails, your DMs. It applies to everything. And we're gonna go over how you can fix your sales messaging. That can make or break a business. Number 4, we're gonna go over 3 simple steps to writing headlines, bullets, and ads that customers actually stop, look at, and care about. And number 5, we're gonna go over how to write a sales email that sells without being spammy or annoying. If you've been in the online game for a while, you know that Amazon, Google, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they change their algorithms all the time and you are at their mercy unless you have the emails of your prospects and your customers. That way you own your audience, you own your traffic, so it's super important to know how to communicate to them. All right, let's move on. Before we start, I have to give a disclaimer. The concepts that are taught in this course are extremely powerful. People literally pay thousands of dollars for what I'm about to give to you for free in their ability to influence others. Please don't be manipulative, all right? Stay ethical when applying these concepts because they work, whether your product is good or not. The only difference is that if your product sucks and you apply these concepts, your customer is not gonna come back, and this is not good for business in the long term because you don't get that word of mouth marketing. You don't get those referrals. Doing business honestly is something that I believe in strongly, and I believe that that's the only way to win in the long term, okay? So everything that I teach you to write, you have to do so with an equal understanding of the quality of the product or service or content you provide. There's no purpose in writing so well that your prospect comes and purchases your product if it doesn't actually fulfill their needs. Does that make sense? Great. So, instructions. I want you to get ready to take notes because I'm gonna share a lot in this course, and there's at least one thing that anybody can walk away with and apply right away in their businesses. So I don't care if you've listened to the whole course. I care if you've taken at least one thing away from this course and you're applying it. And let me know how it's working out for you, okay? Number 2, I want you to get rid of distractions. You are not gonna be looking at a phone in this class, in this course, while you're listening to me. It doesn't work. You're distracted. You're not learning. I want you to dive in and actually think about the stuff that I'm talking about. Number 3, I want you to listen carefully, okay? Make sure you are in a distraction-free environment, and then I want you to pay your full attention in this course. All 5 videos of it, not just right now. Pay attention. Number 4, I want you to pause and apply. In fact, I don't want you to watch all 5 videos in one sitting. I want you to watch something, sit there, think about it, how you can apply it to your business, and then keep going. Whenever you see something or you read something or you learn something that is actionable, I want you to stop and I want you to take the action first and then come back. I'm always gonna be here. This video isn't going anywhere, okay? Number 5, I want you to write down the questions that you have coming across this course, that when you're listening, when you're applying, write down all your questions and feel free to shoot me an email. I'm pretty busy, but I try my best to reply to each and every single email. All right, so let's get started with module 1. Obvious copywriting mistakes you're making that are costing you a fortune. And if you're a beginner copywriter, listen carefully, okay? Mistake number 1. You think copywriting is only about sales. Well, to an extent it is, but really it isn't. If you look online, you'll find that the definition of copywriting is to write words that get sales. In fact, the origin of copywriting is in direct response copywriting in advertisements, right? Before the internet existed, people used to send letters and free reports to different people's addresses. That used to be the old way to cold email, right? People used to send letters to all the addresses in a specific zip code, and those that responded then were sold with whatever they're selling. And so that was what copywriting was for. So copywriting since then has evolved, right? Why? Because we can now reach our prospects and customers in totally different ways. Now I would like to expand the horizon and your thoughts and just introduce you to the idea that the purpose of copywriting is to get the audience to take an action. Any action, whether it's to buy, click a link, follow, give an email, anything, all right? As long as you're able to get your customer or prospect or whoever you're talking to take a desired action, you've done good copywriting. Number 2, any content that is good applies the principles of copywriting. So the content creator can inspire action. Why would you create content if not to inspire action or to change somebody's way of thinking, right? Or to influence somebody or to introduce a concept to somebody or just to get them to pay attention, right? So we've got sales letters, blogs, videos, all of those things have a purpose. Everything has an intention behind it, and it's the intention of the person creating the content. There's just a difference between how well that person executes on that content. Number 3, copywriting helps you understand your buyers. It kind of forces you to do it so that you can better serve them. So creating products, customer relationship management, getting the sale, all of those things apply the concepts of copywriting. And the concepts of copywriting and the steps you have to go through to become a good copywriter will force you to learn more about your customers, and after doing that, you'll be able to better identify their pain, their needs, and you'll be better able to serve them. After all, that's what business is about, being able to solve the pain points of your customers, of your ideal audience. Okay, that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2, you outsource copywriting, right? Some of you don't even outsource copywriting. Some of you just don't do copywriting. That's a huge mistake. Why shouldn't you outsource copywriting? First of all, if you know about copywriting, great, you have to do it. If you don't know how to do it, chances are you're outsourcing it. That is not something you should do. Why? Because if you don't know what good copywriting is, you can't tell the difference between good and bad copywriting. For example, which call to action is better? Learn more or click here? You don't know. You don't actually know. If you don't know, how are you going to know if you're paying somebody a lot of money for absolutely garbage work? You don't know. And here's a fun fact. Learn more actually has a better conversion rate than click here. If your ad or your content is about teaching somebody how to do something. Fun fact. Number 2, you can learn it. Copywriting is an important skill. And in later videos, I'm going to show you that it doesn't really have that much to do with your English ability. There's a formula to write headlines, okay? As long as you follow the formulas and as long as you know the language of your prospects, you can do copywriting. It's an important skill because you're either first or you're last, right? You either get the sale or you don't. You either get them to take the action or you don't. And if you don't, you're last, okay? And sometimes you just need to make changes on the fly. If you outsource copywriting and they give something back to you and you're not satisfied, you need to know how to make changes. And if you're also testing your copy, right? A lot of good copywriters and good marketers know how to write different versions of copy so the business owner can do what we call a split test to see which version gets the most conversions, all right? And if you're not well versed in the skill of copywriting, how can you make changes on the fly to increase the conversions of your pages? Every time you want to make a change, you're going to have to send it off to somebody else. That's not cool. Number 3, good copywriters cost an arm and a leg. And that makes sense, right? Because if there's 1,000 people that hits your website every single time and you've got a 1% conversion rate, right? Which means 10 people buy, and your copywriter is able to take that 1% and make it 2%, that's double your sales, okay? So good copywriters cost a lot of money. Most freelancers can't be trusted because they don't know your customers, okay? Chances are they're just taking templates that they found on the internet and they're just giving it to you and filling random words in. They don't know your customers. So that's mistake number 2. Don't outsource it. Learn it first, and then maybe you can outsource it, okay? But learn it first, okay? Number 3, here's the mistake. You think you're the reason people buy, okay? Copywriting is all about the customer. Copywriting is not about hyping up yourself or your product. It's about understanding the customer. You're not the reason people buy. They're the reason they buy, not you. So, what does that mean for your copy, for your product descriptions, for your sales pages? Remove I, the word I, and all its relatives like us, like we, like our, from your language. Use you instead, right? So instead of, let me show you how to do this, because you're all high and mighty, use, you need to learn how to do this. You need to learn it. It's important. You need to learn it. Okay? Instead of, our product is the best, use, you'll be amazed when you see. Okay? Because your product, even though it might be the best, they don't want to listen to you talk about yourself. They want to listen to how this product is going to change their lives. So instead of, I will help you become, and this is if you're a coach or consultant, we love to say stuff like, I'm going to make you a lot of money. Like, that's not really cool, right? That's putting the pride on you. Instead, use, here's how your life will change. This is about you. Here's how your life will change. Okay? Mistake number 3. Mistake number 4. You don't know the reasons people buy. And you might be thinking, hey, people buy a drill because they want a hole in their wall. Nuh-uh. That's surface level thinking. First of all, if you're thinking people buy a drill because they want a drill, work on it, okay? Work on it. People don't buy a drill because they want a drill. People buy a drill because they want a hole in something. But we can even go a step deeper. I remember when I was in university, I was joining clubs and I was learning about psychology, and we've got things called core needs, right? We've got surface needs and we've got core needs. The surface need is the hole in the wall. The core need may be anything, but it might be, for example, I don't want my wife to be upset anymore. Like, I want to have a happy family. And that's why I'm going to buy that drill. I'm going to put that hole in the wall. I'm going to put the picture frame on the wall. So when my wife gets home tonight, she's going to be happy, right? That's a core need, right? That's a core need. So here are some core needs, right? Number 1, save or make more money, okay? Wealth is a core need for people. And And we can argue that wealth is still on the external side and that the core need is actually financial security or security in general. Okay? Or it might be affirmation from a loved one, right? So that's a core need that can be branched off of save and make more money. Number 2, save time. We like to save time, right? You can think about the 1990s. If you were around in the 1990s, there was a store called a Blockbuster in America where we would go and rent out movies to watch because we only wanted to watch it once, right? We don't want movies sitting in our home when we only watch them once, right? So Blockbuster was a thing, right? We would drive for 15 minutes to go to the store, rent out the movie. We don't know if it's good or not, but we would rent it out and we would watch it. And then a week later, before the movie's due, we would drive back to the store and put the movie back on the shelves. Those stores don't exist anymore. Why? Because of Netflix, okay? What did Netflix do? It saved us time. I could go on Netflix.com right now, and I don't even have to search for something to watch. I get recommended things to watch. You know what I mean? I don't have to. In fact, they gamified it. Searching's kind of fun. Like sometimes I spend 20 minutes looking for something to watch and I don't end up watching anything. But that in itself is kind of hilarious, right? Because I have the illusion of saving time when I'm on Netflix, but I'm actually not saving time. But anyways, saving time, right, is a huge reason people buy. It's why people have Ubers, right? It's why people have so many different methods of transportation, right? There's unlimited ways to get to different places. How much are you willing to pay, right? That's the question. Number 3, reduce effort or sacrifice, okay? We like things that are easy. And if you can make something easy for somebody, they're willing to pay a lot of money for it, okay? Number 4, escape mental or physical pain, okay? And a mental pain might be somebody has limiting beliefs about themselves. Somebody has a lot of anxiety and self-doubt, right? Physical pain could be either a physical ailment or like a health condition that they're dealing with, right? Maybe they're feeling the physical and mental effects of being overweight, and that's their physical pain, right? And so they decide to go to a gym, and that's actually what the gym is solving, right? They're helping customers escape mental and physical pains of being overweight or unhealthy, right? Number 5, to gain social status or relational well-being, okay? So this is what a BMW does. If you didn't know, a BMW does the same thing as a Honda, right? Those two are both cars. They get you from A to B. But when other people look at you and you have a BMW or a Lambo or a Range Rover or a Merc, right? That's social status. Whether it actually adds any value to your life practically or functionally, I don't know. But people like to get social status, right? They like to feel dominant in that hierarchy, all right, in that social hierarchy, and relational well-being, right? Like, so apps like Headspace for meditation, relationship coaches, marriage counselors, psychologists, all of those have to do with solving pains related to relational well-being, as well as mental well-being, if you really think about it, okay? So what does this mean for you? Well, it means you can now appeal to their struggles, right? Instead of saying your product is so great because it's a bestseller and it's branded, how about use words like having trouble with this, or are you struggling with this, right? That way, if they're struggling with whatever you're saying they're struggling with, they'll pay attention. So, for example, you're having trouble with back pain, right? Keeping you up at night, right? Are you struggling with your paid ads because they're not converting, right? Those are just two of very, very, very many examples that we can give. All right, so the 5th mistake is you think everyone's your customer, and everyone might be your customer, but you can't get everyone to be your customer. You need to make an effort to understand your buyer, right? Which greeting would catch your attention if you were trying to, let's say, start a publishing business? right? How about calling all publishers, online publishers in Texas versus, hey, passive income creator, right? Which one would catch your attention? Chances are, if you're an online publisher in Texas, the first one's gonna get your attention, okay? And that's what you wanna do with your products and your messaging. You wanna call out the exact avatar that you're trying to help. Number two, you wanna talk to them as a friend, having a one-on-one. Listen, don't ever treat them as a number or try to sound smart, okay? Can you imagine if one of your friends came to you for advice because they have a problem and they're looking for a solution, because that's what a customer does when they land on your webpage, and you respond with, hey, this makes everyone much better than before, right? Stuff like that, something like that. It doesn't make any sense, right? Instead of, you guys are in luck because I'm gonna help you solve A, B, and C. Use stuff like, hey, luckily for you, I know a solution. Luckily for you, there's a solution. Instead of things like, we're gonna fix the beta in your portfolio, because they don't know what that is. If they did, they wouldn't have that problem, right? Use, we're gonna make sure your money grows safely and securely, right? Safely, securely, right? Core needs. Think about that, okay? So there's no need for you to go into jargon. A lot of the times, we like to go use jargon to make ourselves sound and look smart. And at the same time, it's really, a lot of times we do it because we want to hide our own insecurities, right? We want to sound smart. And you know this if you've ever been in an argument and then somebody goes like full jargon on you. You don't even know what they're talking about, essentially. But here's the question. Does that make you respect them more? Like if somebody uses jargon to try to convince you, right? Does that make you respect them more? Chances are, not really. No, right? So use simple language. Come alongside them. Don't come at them, okay? So here are the 5 mistakes, obvious mistakes that you'll make as a beginning copywriter that you won't make anymore, right? Because you've listened to this video. Now, this isn't finished yet. I'm gonna show you exactly what's in store in modules 2 to 5, okay? So what's next? In module 2, when we learn about customer acquisition and making customers feel understood, you're gonna learn the 5 most important aspects of your customer avatar, and it's got nothing to do with demographics, okay? We're gonna learn 3 types of buyers and exactly how to customize your messaging for each so that they engage with you, okay? And I'm gonna tell you also where to look to truly understand your buyers so you can serve them more value and at higher prices. Okay, so that's what we're gonna learn in module 2. Now, if you learn anything at all in module 1, make sure that you actually apply what you just learned. Go back to all your product descriptions and your sales messaging. Get rid of all the I's, okay? Go back, right? And ask yourself, are you appealing to your customers' struggles, right? Are you talking about how awesome your book or your product is? Or are you actually solving a problem for them and communicating to them that you can help them, okay? So go back in the lesson if you need to. We'll go over the tips again and think about how you can apply some of this stuff in your business. Without further ado, see you next time.